Good, happy Sunday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on RK Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Sunday evening, so let's get started right now. First up, one dead after crash on I-93 in Sanbornton. All lanes are reopened again. Let's take a listen and take a look at this video.
Game on, New Hampshire. Have some fun and place your bets on your favorite sports teams. New DraftKings customers get a deposit bonus up to $1,000. Get the latest odds on some of the biggest matchups on WMUR News 9 Sports every night at 6 and 11.
This is video from the scene when the crash happened, as you can see. As you can see, traffic was backed up. One person is dead after a crash on I-93 in Sanbornton Sunday afternoon, according to state police. New Hampshire State Police said I-93 south at mile marker 62 was closed because of a crash, which is north of exit 22. The single vehicle crash resulted in one person's death. All lanes reopened shortly before 6 p.m., State Police said. This is still breaking news. When we get more information, we will be sure to share it with you all. Plane crashes in a residential area near a small Massachusetts airport. Let's take a listen to that video.
Bentley Chevrolet, the neighborhood dealer who treats you like family. It's the Chevy Summer Drive at Bentley Chevrolet. Get 1.9% financing on select Chevrolet models when you finance through GM Financial. Bentley Chevrolet.
This is raw video from that plane crash in that scene, as you can see. 3 people were airlifted to hospital after a small plane they were traveling in crashed into a wooded residential area near Massachusetts Airfield on Sunday afternoon. The plane came down just south of Minuteman Airfield in Stowe, Massachusetts. It crashed near homes along Taylor Road, according to a spokesperson who represents the town. One of the 3 people aboard the plane was trapped, and first responders had to cut them free of the aircraft. The Broxton Fire Department also said it was sending rescuers to assist Stone with the plane crash. No details were immediately available about the crash. Firefighters, off-duty lifeguard, rescue swimmers caught in rip current at Hampton Beach. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Bentley Chevrolet, the neighborhood dealer who treats you like family. It's the Chevy Summer Drive at Bentley Chevrolet. Get 1.9% financing on select Chevrolet models when you finance through GM Financial. Bentley
Chevrolet. New this morning, 2 people are in the hospital after being rescued from a rip current in Hampton. Hampton Fire Rescue says this happened yesterday evening across from the Ashworth Hotel. Prior to their arrival, some Good Samaritans went in to try to help. Hampton firefighters and off-duty lifeguards were able to bring those swimmers to shore. No word as to their condition at this hour.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man, woman seriously injured after crashing motorcycle on Route 111 in Derry. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Ready to put on a new roof? Summer savings are available right now from Derek Cook's Roofing Specialists. Put zero down and pay 0% interest for 12 months. Call now for a 24-hour estimate and get scheduled today. Insist on Derek Cook's Roofing Specialists.
People are hospitalized this morning after a motorcycle crash on Route 111 in Derry. An officer tells News 9 it looks like the motorcyclist drove off the road before crashing yesterday afternoon. Police say the driver and his passenger both taken to the hospital with serious injuries. That passenger had to be med-flighted.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. 4 horse riders escorted off Mount Chicora by New Hampshire Fish and Game officers after getting lost. 4 horse riders were escorted by New Hampshire Fish and Game conservation officers after getting lost and needing help on Mount Chicora. New Hampshire Fish and Game said around 8:15 p.m. they responded to the call. The riders took a trail up and were unable to go back the same way because of the steep and rocky terrain presented to the horses. The horse riders from Massachusetts took another trail and eventually called 911 for help, Fish and Game said. They were not sure of their location and had no lights. The group was part of Granite State Carriage Association, taking part of the annual Look to the Mountain event. They started riding at 10 a.m. Saturday, Fish and Game said. 3 of the horses fell during the ride because of the treacherous conditions and sustained minor injuries, Fish and Game said. Conservation officers hiked about 1.6 miles to their location on the Wetimo Trail, and they were given water, food, headlamps, and warm clothes. They were escorted to the Piper Trailhead parking area, getting there around 2 a.m. Sunday. New Europe travel regulations. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Jake from State Farm?
Yeah, what's up?
What if I need additional coverage on the new place?
The new travel requirement for Americans heading to many European countries next year. ABC's Jacqueline Lee has more on the document you'll need to have with you. Jacqueline, good morning to you.
Hey, Gio, good morning. Yes, if you plan on flying to Europe next summer, it will get more complicated. And it doesn't just affect the U.S., it affects 60 previously visa-exempt countries. That's about 1.4 billion people.
This morning, big changes for Americans flying to Europe. Next summer, some travelers will need a pre-trip permission before touching down through the European Travel Information and Authorization System, or ETIAS.
Come 2024, there is a pre-screen authorization electronically that you will need to fill out online for a small fee.
So how will this change impact you? Official U.S. passport holders who have not applied for a visa before will need to fill out an application on the official ETIAS website. The cost? €7 or $7.79 in U.S. dollars. It can be processed in minutes, but that time period could be extended up to 30 days if you're asked to provide additional documentation. A confirmation will be sent to your email with a unique number, which you must carry with you during your entire stay.
Give yourself enough time in advance to apply to make sure that you have that in hand before traveling onwards.
The new European authorization will allow you to stay in your destination country for up to 90 days. Now remember, apply well in advance before you buy your ticket, and make sure your passport details correspond to those in your ETIAS authorization, or you will be refused boarding.
This is just an extra way to kind of mitigate long lines at border control and to just give an extra layer of security for the region.
The new rule coming after a record-shattering travel season in the U.S. this summer. This past 4th of July weekend, TSA officers screened nearly 10.7 million people, screening an all-time high of 2.8 million passengers in one day.
And the documentation lasts up to 3 years or until that documentation actually expires. The application will be available starting next year. Whit.
All right, Jacqueline, thank you. Well, hey there, GMA fan.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on RK Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great evening. Good night and goodbye.